people.
Cut the. That was a close call.
That was
Oof.
Those
Real
close.
pods, man.
Real close. Isopods. Ferocious.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
alright.
I think we should show the cute finger puppet.
Yeah, we should. He's little friend. Or not. He can be a friend or a foe.
Can
As
I?
we've seen. Yes, there you go.
This is what it looks like.
Friend.
Wait, I'll show it in this camera. It's like a finger puppet.
The little dude.
We still have to kind of make the shape a bit more. Isopod shaped, but yes.
You must flatten the boy.
Yeah, it looks like a burner eye or whatever. And it only has 6 pairs of legs. I was so disappointed when I saw this.
Damn. I'm gonna add another one for you. Alright, I guess welcome to another episode of the Isobros.
Yes.
Do you want to tell everyone what our crime plan for today is?
So we have a prime clan. The plan is we have 4 Cubaris species that we're doing a profile on, and then we're gonna dive a bit into genetics. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
And then maybe a bit of up ahead what's coming like the next couple of weeks. I have some stuff.
Should I crack open the monster and place
Yes,
the glasses
I
down?
shall read the thing that's on it. So we're drinking gold. Monster Energy Gold.
Because we're the golden boys.
We're the golden boys. So this is ultra gold, and it's basically just pineapple taste.
Yep.
Which the packaging doesn't tell me. Like, these are weird triangle signs. So
This time I found the label.
this time you found the label and it was very boring. Okay, good.
I
So
was proud of myself, alright.
Finn is cracking the gold.
Now it tastes like my thumb because my thumb accidentally got in it.
It's very yellow.
Yeah, it looks a bit like we're drinking pee again.
Yes. Jesus, I'm always switching between the cameras wrong.
Here.
Okay, so
Cheers.
cheers.
It's very pineapple-y.
That is very pineapple-y.
Ooh, I like it. That's delicious.
Okay,
Monster Gold, can recommend. It's Finn approved.
I think all of them we had so far were kind of good.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with the first species profile.
Species.
Or is there anything that from the last week that we can talk about that was interesting? Did
Not
we
really. We're gonna
isolate
bring
anything?
it up later.
Not really, no. Nah.
No,
That's
they're
kind of
gonna
it.
have to
Okay.
stay tuned for the interesting stuff.
Okay, so first of all,
We started an Isopod OnlyFans.
I gotta do this. No. Okay. I am completely fucking this up. This is the worst.
You got this, King.
Okay, Finn, you're on camera. Be funny. Haha.
How? What am I supposed to say? I don't know if you know, but from today on, Orlando and I are official Isopod trainers. So if your Isopods are misbehaving, you could send them to us, and we'll teach them how to be better Isopods. We have a be the best pod you can be program.
I think my keyboard was just stuck and didn't do the thing I wanted it to do. And then
Okay, do I
panicked.
still have to pretend I know how to be funny?
No.
Okay, good. That was hard.
Okay, good. And let's start this video, yeah? Okay, so we're starting with the species Cubaris White Side.
I bet you can never guess why they're called White Side.
I don't know, man.
I don't know, it's such a mystery. Tell me about it, Orlando.
They're called White Side because they have a white side. Gosh.
Le gasp.
Les Gasp. Okay. So this is Cubaris White Side. I'm gonna give a bit of a. So I have these for 1.5 years, 2 years.
Mhm.
So I have them.
They're really cute.
They're super cute. Um, I would say they're more. To be honest, I think they're more of a bit of a more boring Cubaris side when it comes to what they look like and everything. Um, So I found online profiles that were like, this is spectacular species, an amazing addition to your collection, super rare, hard to breed, and like, no, this is Panda King, different way. Like, of course, it's not Panda King.
Same soup but reheated.
It is a lovely isopod, but we're gonna show some other Cubaris later, and then you'll be like, oh well, that is a lovely
Yeah, that's a bit
Cubaris.
of a difference.
So they're also called penguin, which is I think way more cuter.
That's a lot cuter.
Yeah, so I'll just give a bit of a read down what they do and how do you keep them.
Warning,
So
they do have a little bit of speed demon points.
They do?
Yeah, they not Merulanella Scarlet speed demon points, but like if it's a point scale from 1 to 10, I'd say they're a solid 5 to 6, with Merulanella being the 10.
Orange Tiger is like a 9. We're gonna see them later. So we're gonna do, heads up, we're gonna do White Side, then Orange Tiger, White Shark, and then
Shark Boys.
and then Panda. So that's how we're gonna do it. Okay, so they are actually from Thailand.
Oh.
And it's very humid. They need a constant temperature of like, it says 24 to 27. I keep mine like 23, and they're thriving. And like 60 to 80% humidity. And
so they like it on the more moist side.
Yeah, and they grow up to 1.3, 1.5 centimeters. What would be your guesstimation?
Yeah, I'd say a little bit over a centimeter. They're not the biggest pod, but also not the smallest pod. Solid pod size.
And yeah.
And they're perfectly loaf-shaped.
They're perfectly loaf-shaped. That is the Finn sign of approval. You could think that they're like Panda King, but they're a bit different, I think, in the way they're built. But I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be
the Panda
surprised
Kings
to see.
Squatter.
I wouldn't be surprised to hear that they were closely related. But the color, like they way less gray and way more dark, blackish, and you can also see a lot of the what you call isopod. What do you call this?
Yeah, the isopod texture.
Isopod texture. I found information that they grow up to 2 centimeters, which never seen that. Yeah, basic substrate. Just keep it all more on the humid side, and I would say this is a perfect species for a beginner Cubaris species. Mm-hmm. It is a species that will require you to have, of course, depending where you live, but in general, required to have heating and to keep it on the moist side. But they're very voracious. I would use them for.
Are they cleanup crew approved?
Exactly. I would approve them as cleanup crew. I just gotta make sure that it's actually recording and things are working out. Yes. So I would approve them cleanup crewish and beginner friendly. And also, they don't take a lot of time.
That's good. So you'd say, like, if we give all of the species of today, like 5 stars is like they're super beginner friendly, they're super voracious, great cleanup crew. 1 star is more they are a hobbyist species that you have to put more effort into. They're more difficult. If that's the scale, would you say they get a solid 3.5 stars?
Yes. I think that it's. That this system is a bit difficult, but I would say that it's like a beginner to intermediate, maybe intermediate.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it if somebody never had a terrarium animal or any animal in general, then maybe not. But also they're not difficult. They're kind of hardy.
With a little bit of enclosure experience, you get Cubaris White Side approved.
Exactly. If somebody never had isopods but some other animals in terrariums, I wouldn't be worried to give them White Side. Important addition that I would make is that I've rarely seen any kind of mutants in there, any kind of variation in the color, right? It's always the same. It's always dark grayish in the middle, and then down the sides and the front, and then on the side and like.
I mean, there's a little from what I've seen when I've collected them. Like I made sure to give you the ones that have the most white on their white sides. There are some that are almost a black isopod, so that is where they have their variation. That the white on the side varies, but the rest is stable. All right, want to move on to the next one?
So the next one is Orange Tiger Suratani, which
are
is
a lot more stunning, in my humble opinion.
Yes, and they have been. Let me just. Jesus Christ! I just have to find the right video.
Perfect.
There they are.
I like the super orange one that the other one stepped on.
Okay, and these are the first. These are the first Cubaris species I ever had.
Orlando original.
Yes, they are from Surat Thani, which is a region in Thailand. It's a province, actually. I hope I pronounced Surat Thani right. Probably not. Yeah, what I really like about them is what you can see already in the video, is that they have a lot of variation in orange, intensity of orange, gray, the stripes, the pattern of the gray, and then some. I've had some that were almost completely grayish with a bit of orange, and I think that is beautiful.
Yeah, there should be one in there that I picked out specifically because I made sure there's a good mix. There should be one in there that's very dark and only has a little bit of high orange in in the middle of its carapace. Like it's pretty dark and has like a few spots. Hope we can see it at one point. Though any isopod looks a lot brighter under the light of the microscope, so there he is. It's the one that's currently skedaddling up.
So with these boys, I would say difficulty. So what do they need is basic Cubaris setup, which is a bit of more limestone or whatever. Humid, lots of rotten wood. Yeah, that basically the usual isopod substrate with a bit more on the humid side and a bit more on the.
Which is very typical for Cubaris.
Exactly.
They like it more humid, and the temperature has to be a little more stable, I'm guessing.
No, usually it doesn't have to be stable; it just has to be warm. Mm-hmm. But during the night, it can cool down a bit. Yeah. So these ones, 22 to 27 degrees. Again, I keep mine at 23. 55 to 70% humidity. But also just keep them on the more humid side. I would give them more of they're a bit harder to breed than the white side. So the easiest Cubaris species, in my opinion, are Panda King and White Side. Mm-hmm. And then probably Orange Tiger and White Shark. So today we're having like the beginner species. Yeah.
And intro to Cubaris.
An intro to Cubaris.
Cubaris for idiots.
And these one actually grow up to 2 centimeters, I think. Yeah, they're a bit bigger. And they can be super fast.
Yeah, they get a solid 7 to 8 on the speed
I would give them an 8. Because they're
a little more chill, though. They're really chill,
but as soon as they run from one side of your hand to the other in a split second.
But I think because they don't have the biggest tendency to do that. That's why I'd say 7 to 8.
Yeah.
They're not like Merle Scarlet where you look at you and go, I'm going to ruin your life.
Those are the worst. I love them so much, and I like it because they are actually active. They skitter and they work.
Challenge. You have to concentrate more when
No, but they're active in the box. They wander around, but it's just bruh.
And then you're like, hey Finn, can you come over and pick some of the tricolorata out for me? I'm gonna sell them to someone. And then Finn sits there like
You wanted to do it.
I know, it was a lot of fun.
But yeah, I sold some tricolorata last week and some other ones, but like the tricolorata, picking them out was not fun.
Because even though they're bright red with yellow and black spots, so you'd think they would stand out from the mainly brown background, they're so good at hiding. I opened the box and was like, Orlando, do you have enough to sell? Yeah. This box is fucking empty. And they just kept popping up and I was like, oh! And your sister helped me. She was very sweet.
But these ones are the devil.
Yeah.
So Cubaris Surat Thani Orange Tiger, I would say one of my favorite Cubaris species, also because it was one of the first ones I had. With these ones, you can select them to have them more orange or more gray. apparently they sell on a higher price when they're pure orange line, but I think that's really not as beautiful as what we got
No, I
here.
prefer because with
There's so many orange isopods.
yeah, and with the orange, yeah, okay, you have a nice bright orange, but what makes them beautiful and what gives them the name is their tiger-like striping. So I think it's a little.
Exactly.
It's like, I don't know.
That tiger earned its stripes.
Tiger earned its stripes.
Okay. Wow, we're really pushing it through today.
Yeah, we're being speed boys.
So
It's because of all of the energy I have consumed today. I had a coffee first. My
quick,
brain, it is moist.
a quick addition is I hope everybody sees how we've changed a bit of the setup, and also we've changed a bit of the lighting.
Yeah.
So we have I bought like a very cheap softbox light, and I hope that it helps and that we look nicer.
Yeah, it's really funny. We went from like with the light setup, we went from makeup influencer to film production. Cause like the ring lights, you always see them with like these beauty
I
girls.
also use them
that
for
are, like,
self tape for.
Yeah, they're like when they're showing the product, they're like, today I'm sponsored by this makeup
And then they're
brand
showing
that
it
probably,
like this.
Yeah, that probably tests on animals. And now we went through, and this is Finn with the weather.
Welcome, Finn, with the weather, and we also have these balls.
Yeah, balls. Who doesn't like a good ball? Who doesn't like an orb?
Balls. But the thing is, they're flickering. If you take the wrong color for some reason, they're flickering. I could do this thing, which I love so much, is when it goes through the light. But for some reason, it's also. I mean, of course, it's your camera that flickers and not mine. I mean, it's of course in the sense that it's different cameras.
Yeah.
But when it's blue, it works.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I wanna really have it so that we have more of a stable background.
Yeah.
I would really like to have an Isobros lounge, where we have it looking nice
For the future.
for the future. And then
Oh wait, we gotta do the.
no, this
Aw.
okay. And then we yeah, because what you can't see right now in the background is all these bottle gardens here, for example.
Oh yeah, which we both made them look so pretty for filming, and now you can't see them.
Let me just quickly show one.
He makes the most beautiful bottle gardens.
Like this one has been closed and not watered or anything. In September 2020, I made it.
Oh.
Yeah, didn't change anything. I think I will have to put some water in there in 2 years or 1 or 2 years, because the plants do grow and then they just store more water.
Yeah.
But you can see there's a Fittonia and a, what is the other one called? Can't come up with the name. But yeah, that is the thing I do.
All right, are you ready to move on to the Shark Boys?
Sharky boys.
Sharky Boys.
Okay, let me just.
Oh, is everything working?
Wait. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all good. Oh, there they are.
Okay, so this is Cubaris White Shark, and this one is actually not from Vietnam. This one, not from Thai. Yeah, this one's from Thailand. Were the other ones all from Thailand? I'm confused.
You said the other ones were from Thailand.
So this one's also then. What then is the Panda King from Vietnam? One of them is from. Wait, let me check. Yeah, Panda King is gonna be from Vietnam,
Okay.
which is rare because Thailand is the craze. Okay, Cubaris White Shark. I do not know why they're called White Shark. I have no idea. I couldn't find it online. Maybe because they're always in the soil and then from time to time they come up. I have no idea why. But they're cute. They're prolific.
I think if I would name them, I'd call them ice cream sandwich.
Ooh.
Because they have 3 different colors, like orange, white, black. And it's kind of like like an ice cream sandwich.
Yeah. tell us your name for the Cubaris White Shark.
What would you call the Cubaris White Shark?
Okay, so important things about the Cubaris White Shark is that it is a bit of a more of a. It used to be more of a rare Cubaris, but they're actually as soon as they're, I would say they're also a 3 on the scale.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I only have them for like a year.
Yeah.
I think I have them for like a year.
And you already have enough to sell.
And I already have enough. So they need a bit of more time to establish, and then they're stable. But they're not as easy as Panda King.
Yeah, but they are pretty prolific. Like right now, we're testing out how good of a cleanup crew they are, because you gave me a couple to put into the enclosure with my Caribbean versicolor, because he's already a pretty decent size, so they're very small. They stay about the size of like half a centimeter, I think. They're very small.
Are they like up to a centimeter, maybe 0.9 centimeters or something like that?
Stay pretty
they
small,
do not
and
grow big.
You gave them to me a couple weeks ago, and by now they're already starting to show themselves a little more.
You have babies.
I'm pretty sure I've seen some monkey babies.
Monkey.
So that's neat. They started to. I put a little bit of carrot in, and the first time I did that, it just completely molded out, and I had to take it out. But now there's little isopod bite marks.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, and yesterday they got the tiniest bit of watermelon.
So when you get them, please. Oh my God, my camera skills. Why is it switching back to Orange Tiger? Shut up.
Oh, but there's a shed. That's nice. Some of them dropped their pajama pants.
So what I recommend. So there's a couple of things to recommend here. Of course, more on the. I would say even more on the. If we're more on the moist side, also these ones really need a good layer of substrate, because they've spent so much time in the substrate.
They really like burrowing.
And they go through the substrate, in my opinion, very fast. They like it warm, so like 24 degrees. Even warmer you can do. I know 23 because it still works. When you buy them, please make sure that you're okay with having a small isopod, because when I got them, I wasn't upset or anything, but I just thought that they would be bigger.
Yeah, no, they're really small.
They're really small. They're petite. I think they're super pretty,
but
super
I like
cute.
The small ones.
They're very. I think this is an excellent species. It's one, since I've had them, it's one of my favorite species of Cubaris. But I would make sure that they're not going to show themselves as much, especially in the beginning. They're small. I have to sneeze.
Bless you.
Oof. So I would like. It's not like Borneo. It's not like, what is it called? The Ankylosaurus or something like that. They're a really dwarf species. These are bigger, but like you have to be patient until you see and everything. It's not like the. They're more like the.
It's not like if you slap a Cubaris Panda somewhere. Like, you're gonna see them 3 days after putting them in the cage, and after what feels like 2 weeks, they already overran it.
Exactly. So I would. They're not like the. They're not like the big prize in your collection. They're more of like the secret. It's always going back to the Orange Tiger.
The secret, like, treasure trove of isopods. They're
exactly.
not the fanciest, not the flashiest, but they're really cute, and they're.
I would say they're flashy, but they're small.
Yep, and they're really cute, and they're worth it if you put the effort into them. It's adorable when they poke their little heads out of the substrate, and they're just like, hello, and then you move anything in the enclosure, they're like, okay, goodbye.
Yeah, I love them so much. And what you saw, I think, a lot is this very...
The tiny speedster.
The tiny speedster, which is very yellow.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to select that, and we're going to talk about selection later.
In a little bit.
So, yeah, very, very... Also, I would say almost forgiving species.
Yeah, they're...
Oh, look at him.
For Cubaris, they're pretty hardy. All right, now on to the king of the pandas.
The king of the pandas. Okay. So first of all, we're going to show the basic Panda King. We have shown footage here of Panda King.
Yep.
But we haven't shown footage. We haven't talked about Panda King. So this is going to be our segue into genetics.
Because there's cool shit happening.
Yes, there's cool shit happening. So first of all, this is Panda King. I'm gonna do a bit of a species profile, and then Finn is gonna take over when it comes to genetics. Okay, so they are Panda King. They're from Vietnam. They are, as you can see, white and gray. And what you can also see is that it's usually always oh my god, the focus back then when I did this. We have already shown this footage. It's always the you see like the first two what is it called? Segments are like gray, and then there's two white ones, and then the rest is gray again. That's what they usually look like. Mm-hmm. But apparently they're kind of prone to variation.
Yeah, they're I mean, both of us have a very...
Wait, I'm gonna finish the profile.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Okay,
because I looked at you like, let's go, but then I realized
okay.
I haven't told people anything about them. Okay, so keep them on the moist side. They very much go through the substrate very fast. They're also like 1.2 centimeters, whatever.
They're smaller.
They're smaller, but not that small. They're
but
smaller.
Some big old chompers. He wears his baby as a hat.
And there's a small monkey.
Aw. There was one that was wearing its baby as a hat. So they like the moist side?
They like it on the moist side. They like 22 degrees or upwards. One of the people on our channel, who got them from me, she wrote me like, "Oh, I'm worried. Like I got them and it might be too warm in my house." And I was like, "Well, how warm is it?" She was like, "Oh, it's like 23 degrees." And it's like, okay.
Panda Kings be like, ah!
They that is when they start to thrive. I mean, the other isopods I get it with the Panda Kings, like that is, I wouldn't keep them below 22.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably can, but like 19 degrees would be too cold.
Like I said, I have mine next to my Wi-Fi box, which heats them, and they love that. Ever since I put them closer to the Wi-Fi box that bumps up the temperature. Now I'm gonna remove the Wi-Fi box because in the summer my apartment gets ungodly hot. Anyways, I have the egg incubator set to like 27 degrees, and it's cooling.
Yeah, in here it's 28 degrees where we're sitting right now.
Yeah, it's lovely. So if you see sweat dribbling down my face, that's why.
Yeah, this is an absolute beginner Cubaris species together with the White Side. I would say they're both like 5 stars beginner friendly.
Yeah.
Also easy to get, cheap.
They're very forgiving.
I would use them as a cleanup crew as well.
Yeah.
And they like to show themselves as well.
Yeah.
As soon as you have enough.
They're kind of, they like, dusk is the one where day turns to night, right? Dawn is in the morning. Yeah. I found out with mine that they really like dusk. That's when they're the most active.
You can remember like the movie From Dusk Till Dawn with the vampires, and then they need to survive the whole night, which goes from dusk till dawn.
What vampire?
There's a movie where Selma Hayek is very hot.
Where who?
Selma Hayek is hot in every movie. But like, it's the movie that Tarantino wrote and Rodriguez. Okay, this is a generational gap thing happening right now. From Dusk Till Dawn, you need to watch it.
Okay, I will. I was thinking about Twilight. I was like, please not.
Okay. Yeah. So. Yeah. That's it. And now it's time, Finn. Talk about genetics. So I'm gonna show the footage of.
Do the one we recorded today first, and then the one we recorded last week. Okay. Do I have to go? Can I go?
Please go.
Okay. So the one thing I like about the Cubaris Panda King, what I've noticed is, within the species, there's a lot of variation. Like you said, the species standard is that they have 2 white segments. And one thing I noticed pretty early on with my colony as it started growing, that the first thing I noticed was that the amount of segments that are white change. There's some, I have one that has 4 like white segments. I have a lot that have 3 white segments. But the majority still has only 2 white segments, and then a couple only have 1. So they have a tendency...
Finn has his colony from mine.
Yeah, and a few from Germany.
Okay, that is important.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
No, I bought my first ones from you, and they took a little longer. Like, I was getting a little suspicious about my setup because they weren't doing too great in the beginning. And then I went to Hum on my own for the first time. I got a lot more isopod supplies, and there was a person selling Cubaris Panda King, and it was like the last bit of the show, and I was like, oh, he put them on sale, and I can see their little faces, so I took them.
Okay, talk about genetics.
And which, like, the amount of variation in the striping tells me that they're prone to pattern mutations. Pattern mutations basically mean that, for example, with the Panda Kings, that the amount of stripes changes. A color mutation would be something like albinism or melanism, where it's not the pattern that changes, it's the color or the capability of producing colors.
So Vulgare has color mutation,
Yeah.
not pattern mutation.
Yeah, because their pattern stays the same as the color. But what you can see here, all the footage of these completely black isopods, they're all Panda Kings. They're not White Sides, they're all Panda Kings.
Right, they look so much
are,
like White Sides, but
right?
this is Panda King.
And they're from your
These are
collection.
mine.
Because Orlando's collection produces a lot of completely black Panda Kings.
Yeah, so quick.
All of these took me a minute to find. I opened the box and then
This is it. Fun part where we did this planned, and in between,
yeah.
What is his name? Russ from Aquarium X. He posted something about Panda King, and I told him that
Oh, that's cool.
this is interesting.
Yeah.
My Panda Kings came to yours, and then you
Yeah.
added some additional ones, and
Yeah.
yours.
And now comes the fun part that makes it interesting. My colony has yet to produce a single completely black one. What I have a lot in my colony...
With completely black, you mean like the whole back is black, right?
Yeah,
Because these are still a bit white
Yeah,
on the skirt, but yeah.
But no white stripes. What I have a lot in my colony is more white stripes. I have a lot with even 4 stripes. But, and I think now it's good to switch footage, what I found in my colony a while ago was a youngster that was completely white with only half of one segment being black. And we were both like, oh my god, that's so cool. That is a new mutation. At first, Orlando was like, it could be Panda King Oreo
There it
Crumble. But Oreo Crumble looks completely different. You can see him. It's the little one with the black segment. And then Orlando told me we should isolate that one, and maybe there's a white one in your colony. And we did find a white one in your colony. It's the smaller one you can see there. But if you look really closely, you notice that mine has black eyes, and of course one black stripe. And Orlando's has red eyes, which tells me that even though they're both white isopods and they look like it could be the same genetic mutation, it's not. Because what's going on with Orlando's is most likely albinism. Albinism means that the color producing cells lack the ability to produce melanin, which gives you a white, or in some species like hognoses, orange animal with red eyes. It's different from, for example...
I just wanted to ask you, please explain the difference between albinism and leucism. Is it called leucism?
Yeah, leucism, I think. Which is different from leucism, because with a leucistic animal, they do not have color-producing cells. They just don't have the cells that produce color, whereas an albino animal has those cells, but the cells are incapable of producing melanin, or the black pigment.
So
That's
what is the difference for a layman? Like, is there like?
It depends on the
It's
animal.
basically a very bright animal,
Yeah.
and they're fit for survival. It depends if like there's a lot of sun, I guess, because
Yeah,
they're
it depends. It depends.
So
For
there's
example,
sorry.
with like what makes albinism stand out and how you can, with a lot of animal species, if you put a leucistic next to an albino, you couldn't tell from just the body, because the body will both show white. It's the eyes that give you a clue, because an albino will always have red eyes. With leucistics, they have blue or black eyes. At least with snakes.
But that I don't understand, because
It's the color cells in the skin.
also it's only the color cells in the
Yeah.
skin with leucism. Okay, now I get it.
For example, with hognoses, you can clearly, like, I'm going to bring up hognose because I know about hognose. You can clearly, if I slap an albino next to a leucistic, I can take pictures later or show you pictures online. A leucistic hognose, which are a lot rarer, will be completely white with either black or blue eyes, whereas an albino hognose is yellow with orangish spots and red eyes. But yeah, back to the Panda King isopods. Because obviously one of them has red eyes, that means it's an albino, the other one is a pattern mutation, but we still decided to put them in the same box because we want to find out if within the Panda Kings those mutations are compatible. We're gonna wait for the babies and see how many of the babies are completely white, how many of them still have black stripes. because albinism is a recessive gene. So you're going to need 2 copies of the gene to make an albino animal. That's why the babies
Just
from these two...
quick catch up. This one, as you can
Yeah.
see, you can still see the 2 stripes in the front.
Yeah.
That would be brighter, and
Yeah.
then the rest is more creamy again. Like it's still everything that's gray here. You can see it more on my screen than on the big
Yeah.
screen. Also, you can see the red eyes, I think, right?
Yeah, you can see the red eyes. It's
Can
like
see the red
it
eyes?
has 1 cream segment, then 2 white segments, and then a couple more cream segments, which means it doesn't have the pattern mutation, but it has albinism. And now we're not gonna find it out with the first generation, which I'm gonna come back to later with lemon sorbet. Their babies are most likely all gonna look like Panda Kings. Like, they're just gonna look pretty standard. But it's gonna get interesting with the babies of that generation. Because technically, if we don't know if they're male and female, we're just kind of hoping. But if it works out, then all of the babies will hopefully, or a certain percentage of them, will have 1 combination of the pattern gene from, let's call her mom, let's call the other one dad, just for simplicity, and 1 copy of the albino gene from dad. And now if 2 of those come back together, and they give their baby 1 copy each, like 1 copy pattern from each parent and 1 copy albino, then we're going to have a combination of both, which is going to result in an animal that is not only completely white, but also doesn't have the pattern. Or if it's not... or combinations of both. It's going to be very interesting, and we can already see that happening with the babies of lemon sorbet.
Okay, so we're gonna show lemon sorbet. First of all, I'm gonna show, because I can never show footage of lemon sorbet enough, I'm gonna show footage of lemon
Yeah,
sorbet.
he's so stunning.
I love lemon sorbet, man. Let's show the sorbet man.
So that sort of show the sorbet man.
This is the sorbet man.
Yeah.
And as you can see, this is just, I love him so much.
Yeah, he's super stunning. And you could see the pod texture on him so well.
We need to have a word for the pod texture. We need to find like a posture, textopod. I don't know. But it's just, mwah, mwah,
Yeah,
mwah.
he's so pretty.
He's so pretty. And this is lemon sorbet. And he's in his own box with 3 ladies.
I love his little yellow beak.
Beak
It's
is
giving
cute.
rubber ducky.
It's giving.
It's giving sleigh.
And it's such a beautiful animal. Just look at the pattern. Is it?
Yeah.
Can you see it? Like
Yeah, I can
how
see
the
him.
black goes into the yellow, and then
Yeah.
sometimes the yellow goes into the black in
Yeah,
the other
it's
one
so
segment
pretty.
here. And so this is lemon sorbet. This is the
And now
sorbet
let's
man.
show-
He has 3 ladies with him that are all lemon, all like black
Normal.
and yellow ladies.
Like yellow maculatum.
And he has
This is a maculatum. Imagine it
Yeah.
yellow instead of white.
he has provided us with offspring,
He has, and now
and it's
let's-
actually 2.
yeah, it's 2 hatchings.
Maybe I think it's even 3. You're gonna see why, because up there on the screen, it's gone already. But I'm gonna show it later. You're gonna see it in detail. But by chance, Finn like just put some in there, and there was a very very small monkey. I think it just hatched. I'm gonna. Oh no!
If you look at these, you're gonna see they look like regular maculatum. They don't have their dad's really nice yellow and white butt. And if you don't know anything about genetics, you'd go, oh, project failed, there's nothing special about him anyways. But what this tells us, because all of his babies appear to be normal, this tells us that whatever gene causes the pattern mutation that he has, because I think it's a pattern mutation since the yellow stayed the same, is that it's a recessive gene. Hopefully. It might just be a random mutation that isn't genetic, but...
well, mutation means it is genetic.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
It could. I thought at first.
It could be a fluke, but it's
what I
probably
what I thought at first was that what could be is that it is a mold thing. That maybe there's a thing with the mold, and there's still like part of the mold on the back or something like that. But no, and look here. Can you see it? Can you see it from your? Okay, so there's a very small monkey. This is, you can see it's smaller than the springtail. It is completely white, but that is, I think, because monkey in the beginning are usually white.
But yeah, the interesting thing is once these babies grow up, and then have their own babies, then we're finally gonna see, does it pass on? Which is the same thing with the Panda Kings. It's most likely all recessive genes, because if they were dominant, you'd only need one parent for the gene to show in the babies.
So that, of course, opens up a big possibility for a lot of
Yeah.
cool breeding projects you can
It's
do
like
with Panda King.
with the panda kings, I think with how many black ones they are, that whatever gene, if it's that the pattern mutation that causes them to go all black, is probably I'm unsure if it's because there was some. I have a lot of like the genetic terms in English from watching snake discovery videos. They're great. They're so great for explaining genetics very easily. I do the Emily explains genetics with like the allele thing where she moves her fingers like this, and I copied that completely. So yeah, I love snake discovery, but where were we? Oh yeah, the black one. I think that the black one is. I think she called it incomplete dominant. So it's the same thing that goes on with anaconda hognoses.
What's the difference between incomplete dominant and recessive?
Incomplete dominant is if you have one parent that has it, 50% of the babies are going to have it.
So it's neither dominant nor...
No, it's like it has a super form. And what I think is going on with the panda kings that only have one stripe is that this is the one copy form. But if they have both copies, then it's entirely black. Oh, entirely black. I could explain it easier with anaconda hognoses. Anaconda hognoses is like the condomorph, is also a pattern mutation that is incomplete dominant. So if I breed a conda to a normal, about 50% of the babies are also going to be condas because they get the copy from one of the parent. If I take one of the conda babies, however, and breed it back to its parent, all of them are going to be condas, but I hope I'm doing the math right, and 50% of them are going to be what's known as a super conda, because it's a patternless gene that reduces the pattern. Like a normal hognose is like, okay, hold on. Oh, you can still see it.
Can you yeah, just use the second one and then I'll take this one.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna draw the best hognose ever. Hold on.
So while Finn does this, there's one thing that my biology teacher somehow made me stick into my brain, and that is you can never assume the genotype from the phenotype. So the phenotype is what it looks like. Basically, what we're seeing on the screen right now, the phenotype is this is just a boring as maculatum zebra, black and white. That's a phenotype. That is what it looks like. But you cannot assume the genes. So you cannot assume what's happening behind the curtains. Basically, when you see an animal, you do not know what the genes will look like. So you don't. So these could all have the rainbow, whatever, super rare maculatum recessive gene, but we do not know because it's recessive. We can't see it. So you cannot by seeing by the phenotype, by knowing what something looks like, you cannot then assume what the genotype, what the genes look like. So that is an important thing to always know with genetics. We're gonna do the genetic thing here, right? Also, if you haven't noticed, suddenly Finn can do math. And you ask Finn, like when we're selling, and it's like, okay, these bugs cost 25 and these one cost 35. It's like, that's like land of it's like okay, and I'm like it's 70, and it's like all right. And then when it comes to genetic, he's like, so the probabilities of them being anaconda is like 73%, and then when you combine it with the power to 3 by the 25%, then it gives us like the root, square root.
It's called
ADHD.
I am highly neurodivergent.
Exactly.
And this is my hyperfixation.
That is what I was going to say. Like, if you're interested in it, then it works.
I'm a guy. Okay.
Wait, I gotta switch.
Okay.
Stage is yours.
Please appreciate the most gorgeous hognose I've ever drawn. This is a normal hognose. See how they have lots of spots and their belly is highly speckled with yellow.
Why are you so dark?
It reflects my soul. This is a conda hognose that has...
Can you wait? I need to... Almost better if it's less bright. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Please show it again.
What I said before, this is a normal hognose.
Wait, I gotta... Now we can't see the yellow because the yellow is... You can't see the yellow, bro.
Technical difficulties.
Yes. Okay, how about... You show your things to this camera. Can you do this? No, okay, wait.
Can you hold it? Perfect.
Yes.
Then I can point. This is a normal hognose, which you can tell by it having lots and lots of spots. And
can you give him numbers? 1, 2, and 3, or A, B, and C? Because this is not working.
Okay. I was pointing to it. Okay. Example A is a normal hognose with lots of spots and lots of yellow speckling on the belly. B has one copy of the anaconda gene, which you can tell by the
What
spots.
is the anaconda gene?
The conda gene, what I've talked about the entire time.
Yeah, but
it's
just to make sure. So the conda gene is that it has yellow.
Yeah, it's a pattern mutation. Okay. It reduces the pattern if there's one copy, because which you can tell by the hognose in the middle having fewer spots and also fewer spots on the belly. However, should two conda hognoses, like I've said before, make babies with each other, there's a super form of the gene which causes a snake that has no pattern and a completely black belly. That's what.
So like with audio waves, they can either cancel each other out,
yeah.
or they don't.
And I think that's what's going on with the black panda kings, the completely black ones. That it's not a dominant gene, but also not a recessive gene. It's an incomplete dominant gene because there's so many of them in your colony, which would be really rare for if it was a recessive gene.
Yeah.
But you also have a lot more that have only one black stripe. Like there's a lot.
One
of
white
them
stripe, you mean?
One white stripe. There's a lot of them in your colony, and much fewer in my colony. I have some that have 4. Instead of 2 white stripes and almost no black stripes. That's why I'm thinking that both of those genes might be incomplete dominant. And that the super white one I have is it's like the super form. Or it's unsure. We can't really tell because what we're like you said, what we're seeing is only the phenotype. And I probably contradicted myself with what I think the gene is 3 times because I'm so excited. There's all the chemicals in my brain.
What we would need is like
ADHD medication.
No, it's like a family tree.
Yeah.
What we would need is a family tree with the parents and then all the pictures of all the kids in all the different growth stages, because apparently that changes as well.
Yeah.
And then we could make better assumptions about the genotype.
Yeah.
Also,
but we can't do that until we have the next gen.
That was lots of science stuff you just said, but I just think that your Wi-Fi box is corrupting the genes of your isopods and make it look white.
It's the radiation.
I'm an anti-vaxxer. Also,
it's the 5G. Oh.
It's the 5G. The 5Gs turns the Panda Kings white, and
it's like putting chemicals in the water that turn the freaking frogs.
But they do. That is an actual thing. That is horrible. So yeah.
Do you want to show another great drawing I made?
Yes. So I think we kind of done with the science part here.
Yeah. And to prove that, here's lingerie pod.
Can you?
Oh yes. Sir.
Can you show it
because we will actually be starting an Isopod OnlyFans, and that is the content you're gonna get.
And what is it saying?
Oh, it says, "Oh, step pod."
Oh, step pod. I'm stuck in the ventilation mesh of the tank. What am I gonna do?
I need your help.
Okay.
Ooh.
Fun, not so fun story about this. The reason why this type of adult entertainment with stepbrother, I'm stuck in the washing machine, is high. It's gonna be horrible. It's gonna be horrible. Okay, so some education for everybody. The reason why people came up with this, oh no, I'm stuck in the garden, whatever, and then the stepbrother comes in, is because of course you can't show R-word stuff on P-Hub and sites like that. And what you can do is this, which is like apparently the closest thing you can do to non-consensual stuff. And then it's like, okay, not so fun anymore.
No. I'm
I mean,
still gonna
it
make
is
that joke,
it is
though.
it is a hilariously dumb meme,
Yep.
and also the videos are not. I mean, actually, I haven't seen any of them because it's so dumb. But I guess they're not
Don't
super.
need to discuss your porn preferences.
But I guess they're not. First of all,
First of all,
but I think that it's not that intensely non-consensual because then they couldn't show it. But like the background of all of this
Yeah,
is
that's
that
gross.
for people who have that kink,
yeah, that's disgusting.
I think it at some
But
point
it
it's not
does
a kink
make for
anymore.
a great joke.
Yes, it does make for a great joke.
It's so stupid. Warum liegt hier Stroh?
What were we talking about?
I have no idea.
We were talking about. So we got the genetics down. Oh yeah, I wanted to give some. We had one Q&A question, which was somebody asked me last week that they have a lot of problems with. What is it called?
We should maybe.
With
The
fungus
genetics
gnats.
talks is over.
I think it's over, right?
We're gonna keep updating you on both the Panda Kings and Lemon Sorbet once the second generation comes along.
And what I would really like to do is maybe one day make an actual genetics, just a genetics video, not like a podcast format, but like a 10-minute video with all the animations, and all the pictures and everything. That would be amazing. Finn is not going to be able to be part of it because he's just he couldn't do the job. I think he has no idea about genetics.
No, I'm too stupid.
No, of course you're going to be invited.
If you can't tell, I have a raging hyperfixation on genetics. I have had it ever since I'm in school. The only problem is I haven't read up on it, so everything I said, there might be some issues here and there, because in order to go fully into detail with it, I would have to read up on it again, because I have raging ADHD. My brain will mix up terms, and like what I'm thinking in my head is right, but what comes out of my mouth is a little mixed up. Like you know.
Yeah. I mean, I think that that Austria isn't very kind to you, but like 80, 90 years ago, you would have been a rising star, man. Doesn't get the hint because it couldn't pay attention in history. Okay.
I have no idea.
Nazi Hitler, eugenics.
I wasn't sure what you were going for. I was like,
yeah,
okay.
but no. So the question was one of our. I don't think it's a customer because I don't think I've sold them anything yet. But it's a person that interacts with me from time to time. He asked, "Yo, I got so many fungus gnats. What the hell do you do about it?" And so, first of all, fungus gnats aren't the issue itself. They're a symptom of the fungus gnat larvae, which are in the isopod bins. And fungus gnats are an issue because they eat the roots of the plant. So when you have house plants, they can kill your plants, which sucks. So not only is it a pest for like every time you open the box, flies fly into your face, but also it sucks because if there's plants in your house, then they could kill them.
It's pretty remarkable that you have like next to no fungus gnats
everywhere.
everywhere.
I have them. You can see them at the window.
Yeah, but there's not a lot. Like the spider cage that I just set up, completely new fungus gnats.
So this is the first point that I wanted to make, is that it appears that like durchseuchen, like in the beginning of setting up an isopod bin or whatever, there is going to be a rise and then fall again of fungus gnats. So if they don't stay, it's not the worst. So that is one thing. The fungus gnats like it moist, and they also eat the detritus. So they do not harm the isopods in any way, but they could be like a bit of a rival when it comes to food with the monkey and things like that. But I wouldn't really say that is the case. So what you need is to get rid of the monkey, get rid of the fungus gnats and get rid of the larvae. So what you do is you can air out the bin every day. Just go outside of your apartment or outside of your house, open the bin and like shoo everything out. That is one thing you can do. The fungus gnats larvae needed moist, and the isopods needed moist. That is an issue. You can't really, with plants, what you can do is when you have plants, you water your plants from below, which means that you put the water not from the top into the pot, to the flower pot, but you put it into the what is it called? The pot that the pot that the pot is in. or if it's like a plate,
Yeah.
you put the water in there, and then the roots that are
Slurp
all the
it
way down slurp it up, and the larvae, which are in the top like 3-4 centimeters or like 1 or 2 inches of the substrate, die out because they dry out.
Yeah.
So that is one thing you can do. But with
For
isopod
plants
bins, yes. So that is also why you probably do not have an issue with those pests when you have Hoffman's egg or something like that, because
Yeah,
it's
because
not
they like
not
it dry.
exactly, because it's not dry enough, not wet enough. Okay, so but what do you do so that you don't get them, and what do you do once you have them? So what you do to not get them is have a lot of springtails, because springtails actually rival the
They outcompete the larvae.
they can outcompete them, or at least they can reduce them, so that like have them in all of your bins. You should anyway, but it's another good reason to have them in your bins. So that is one thing you can do to not get
like
them.
Bob.
Then if you have any plants or anything that is infected with them, put them in another room, like put it on the other side of your house or whatever. So that is one thing. When you already have them, what can you do? So there's these yellow plates that are sticky.
Mm-hmm. It's like little fly traps, basically.
No, it's like a Gelbtafel, it's called in German. It's like it's just like a plastic sheet that is sticky on both sides, and for some reason the flies are attracted to it and they get caught in it, and then they just die.
But what you want to do is you want to put it all the way up, like in the enclosure.
So what you want to do
there's no
is
chance that the pod
exactly
will...
you got to protect the pods. What you can do is that you tape it to the underside of the lid, but not just make it stick there with its own adhesive power, but use some gaffer tape.
Yeah, something really
and
strong.
Stick it, but it's still a bit risky. But that is one thing to do, or in general, just have those plates around in the room.
Yeah.
And what you can also get is what is it called?
But the tape thing, that only works if you have a pure isopod box. Because if I put that into my spider cage,
the spider's gonna be dead.
It's not gonna be nice for a spider. So
no, of course not.
Please only put that in pure isopod cages, and only if you have a species that doesn't climb a lot, or if it climbs has a really high box. Because you do not want to kill your pods. Protect the pods.
And what you can also do is, which is something that I used to work in the store where they built and sold these bottle gardens, and also had were specialized in tropical and exotic plants. And they would sell nematodes, which is a form of very small worm. And these worms eat the larvae. But the carapace, the armor of the isopods, is too strong for them to penetrate. So you do not need to worry about them eating the isopods. But they also need it moist.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure that everything's moist, and also you got to put it in all of your bins, so it comes like this form of powder. Yeah. And as far as I can, I did this like a long while ago. But what you do is you put this powder into like a little bit more than lukewarm water, and you let it sit for like 10 minutes, I think, because these are just the eggs. Yeah. And then the eggs kind of activate. They're like sleeper cells, like the.
I would have compared them to sea monkeys.
Yeah, maybe kind of like that. And then you kind of like water, it's usually for plants, but you can also do it for isopods.
So the solution is either get rid of them by airing out the box, or introduce a predator that eats them but not the isopods.
The thing is, airing out the box, all of this will not get rid of all of them.
Yeah, it will reduce it.
It will reduce it, and also you just time will reduce it as well. They're not going to harm your isopods. It's just super dumb that every time you open a box, there's just 100 of flies in your face.
They're like a cough. It won't kill you. It's annoying. You can take medication to get rid of the symptoms, but in order to fully get rid of it yourself, your immune system has to be gone.
Yeah, so just time.
Why do we have so many comparisons?
So time, and also I just got used to having a couple of flies.
Yeah.
But if it's just a couple, that's okay. So yeah, you gotta get rid of them as soon as they're out of the box. They need to die so that they don't get into other boxes. And so yeah, the nematodes, the yellow sticky fly paper, springtails.
Springtails.
That's it. So what you can do is, this is a high risk maneuver. You just take some fucking insecticide
Mm-hmm.
and spray it far away from the isopods. Like what I did with, because I have a lot of plants, and then when the plants would have parasites, I would take them and physically go out of my apartment and then spray them with insecticide, let them sit there for like a couple of days, and then carry them back in. And
so
then
no insecticide would be
exactly, and then
introduced
there's
into the
no
isopod's
chance that the
environment.
insecticide is somehow transferred. And then of course always wash my hands and everything, so that none of this is able to be transferred from the plant to
All right.
the pods.
Do you want to wrap it up?
I
I
think I
don't-
want to wrap it up. So what I'm gonna do in the future. So I'm gonna go on holiday this month, and I am going to go to have a lot of hikes and do some herping, and I'm gonna film it, and my girlfriend will have to film it as well. I even bought some microphones for your collar microphones.
Oh, stick-on microphones. Stick-on
and stuff
boys.
like that, so that it can be actual good production value.
Yep.
And I hope that it really, like, it's gonna be cool.
Yep.
Because it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be two things. I think I'm gonna do 2 videos. One of them will be the herping thing.
Yeah.
And then one of them will be, I really want to do this. I hope I manage to do this. So one of them is gonna be my girlfriend filming me, and then me filming,
Yep.
and then also having the microscope, and then just showing all the stuff that's in Croatia. And just like talking a lot and
Yeah.
like showing everything, and it's cool. And then I want to do a second one that it's just gonna be me hiking
Oh.
with a camera and no commentary. But I found out that you can have now, I'm not sure if I can do this or if it's like a limited thing in the beginning.
Yeah.
But YouTube has inserted a feature of 2 audio channels. So I want to make one audio channel that is just the pure ambient sounds.
Yeah.
And then I want to make a second audio channel, which is me blabbering my dumb deep thoughts over it. Which is like the POV going on a hike with Orlando.
POV Orlando's thoughts during a hike.
And
You
then
know
it's
what
just
we should
gonna-
also do?
Yeah.
Because I know you make really good herping videos. I know you know a lot that you can tell on spot. While you're on holiday, I'm going to recruit my youngest sibling to go into the woods with me, and we're gonna make Isobros hiking on crack.
Do it.
It's like, and then
But-
we
but-
can cut from professional herping
Yes.
a lot of information to me just yeeting myself after anything.
And you're just like throwing boulders around.
just like, oh, this stick might be a snake. Yeet.
Also,
Me
so
all the
since you
time.
just mentioned it, we uploaded 2 YouTube shorts in the last week.
Yeah.
And they exploded. Like, one of them has like 400 views or more.
Sheesh.
And it's like, what?
Is it the one where I get made fun of?
No, it's both of them.
Okay.
The one, also you don't get make fun of, it's just like our dynamic. That one has a bit more views, but these ones have way more views than our videos.
People like short content, like just
I just wanted to, like, if it annoys anybody, that we I think like the informative one, that was good to upload, because it's like a friend of mine who's a vet, and she's a very good friend of mine. She's actually friend with the guy from Haus des Meeres. She's a vet, and while she was becoming a veterinarian, or I think when she already completed the thing, she was like, Orlando, you know what? Like, you're one of the few friends who tells me animal stuff that I don't know. And I was like, what? She was like, yeah, well, sometimes you just come up with shit, and I'm like, how does he know that? And I'm like, just the
That's so
hyperfixation.
sweet.
And she told me, like, she just does not have the time of watching our videos, of course.
Yeah.
And then she was like, this 1 minute thing, that was good, because like that was some information. And yeah, that was fun. That was also fun to make.
I got the fun thing is I take compliments, especially about my animal care, really hard. I don't believe most of them. The one thing that has made me so much more confident in my snake keeping and my plan, okay, even though something with breeding went wrong, I'm still gonna pursue it, is every single time I've gone to the vet with my snakes, I've gone there, been like, this is my animal.
Don't do the thing,
sorry.
because
Sorry.
then we can hear
I'm
the
sorry.
vibrations.
It's like, this is my animal, this is what I think is wrong. And every single time the vet was like, you know your stuff. And that has made me so happy. Like the last time when I went to the vet with my friend's snake who sadly passed, the vet interrupted me info dumping and went, are you one of the students here? Are you studying this? And I was like, no, I do my research before getting pets. And she was like, that's impressive. And I still think about that. Every night before going to bed, I'm like,
You should become a vet.
Yeah.
There was a funny meme I saw about vets where it was like, veterinarians versus human doctors, and the human doctor was like, so this is about a part of the liver which I'm not specialized in, so you gotta go to another guy, and then the other guy was like, yeah, well, but this seems like it's more of a stomach issue, so you gotta go to the stomach doctor, and then on the other side you would have the veterinarian, which is like, well, actually, I do snakes, but this is a rhinoceros. So just bring it in, because they all just like, it will work out.
Ah! Yeah.
So, yeah.
Also, I was right about everything I've pre-diagnosed the snake with.
Sadly,
Even though the vet was like, "Oh no, she literally, oh no, she looks so healthy and she's still exploring. She'll be fine if we wait another day." I was like, "No, she won't. This is the most lethargic I've ever seen this animal. Please, she needs intervention today." And with everything I said that I think is going on, I was right. And she passed, unfortunately. Yeah. But yeah. I was right.
What a great way to end this episode. Okay, so thanks everybody. I think we're doing great. Also, sorry for not showing up last week, because last week we didn't have an episode, or like this week. Yeah,
I mean,
last
we don't
week.
have to have an upload schedule of every week.
Yeah, but I wanted to do an episode every week, but I just couldn't do it.
Yeah,
it was just too much of a hassle.
Too much.
And I don't want to just do an episode that we do an episode.
Yeah.
There's a bit of that where I'm like, I want to regularly upload something, but I don't just want to crank out an episode and be like, whatever.
Because if that happens, then what happens today is our episode started so nice and structured, and then it's just like the last, I think, 10-20 minutes are us info dumping about different topics. We went from isopods to the step bro joke to isopods again, but I think that's okay. We mentioned
that is why we do it in the end.
Yeah. And we literally, the first thing we said in the podcast is, you have ADHD, I have ADHD. This is ADHD untamed.
Admiring those huge doinkers. Okay. So, thank you all for tuning in.
Thanks
and
so
we're
much.
going to see you in the next one.
Remember, there will be an Isopod OnlyFans for all you creepy creatures out there.
All you weirdos. Okay.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
See you in the next one.
See you in the next one.
Wait. You have to...
Oh.
Wait.
See you in the next episode, my friends.